Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be making another unboxing video. You know, I do a lot of these. This is pretty much all the content on my channel. However, this is something that probably isn't super rare. I mean, it's rare in America, but a lot of people do know about it. It's not like my last unboxing where it's like something crazy that no one's ever seen before. However, I am really hoping that it works. This is basically the giant box. I can't show it on camera. Yeah, it is a Japanese-only game console that we never got here, or at least revision of a game console that we never got. So unfortunately, I can't show this whole thing on camera, so I'll have to open it up and then kind of set it down. I am hoping to get a better setup for recording things like this in the future. It's just right now I really don't have anything better than what I'm using, so I'm trying my best. They definitely packaged this thing well. It has like 10 pounds of bubble wrap on it. I probably could have saved on shipping, honestly, if I didn't pay for that. Alright, so it's still not going to show up on camera very well. Here it is. This is a Sony PSX. Basically like a DVR with a PS2 built into it. It's not actually a PS2 first. Let me pick the camera up to show it better because this is very hard to display this way. So here it is. This is the DESR-5100, I believe. This isn't the best model of this. I think there's one with a 250 gig hard drive. This one's got a 160 in it. It doesn't really make a huge difference. And then I think there's like some different I/O in the front, like you know, like different amount of memory stick ports or USB or whatever else, you know. But basically, like I said, this is a PS2 built into a DVR. It is not a PS2 first, which is kind of strange, but this was the first console to ever use the XMB, which was used in the PSP and the PS3. It's like that, the cross-media bar menu, where you have, like, you know, your game, movie, and whatever else, then all your options underneath. It's kind of cool that it's still got this sticker on it. But yeah, these are notorious for just not working. Like, most of the ones I've seen do not work at all. And I kind of just realized I don't have a Japanese PS2 game to try this out with, unfortunately. I am probably going to wait a while before I upload this video, so I'll try to get one between now and then, just to try this out. I really should have ordered one, I kind of forgot. However, I have some different plans with this thing, so even if it doesn't work, I might be able to revive it partially. Basically, like I said, this little flap down here just shows some I/O. It's got all these buttons here for like the menu, 2 memory card slots. Now you might be wondering where the controller ports are, and they are actually in the back here, under this little thing. So basically, this plastic piece comes off, and it gives you access to all these ports. It has S-Video, Composite, looks like Ethernet maybe, coax, and 2 controller ports. So I'm gonna hook this thing up. I have a spot right over there that I think it'll fit. Cool thing about this, it's actually meant to be put either this way or vertically. That's why there's some lights here. So you can stand the thing up like this. The PSX logo is, you know, right side up, and I think it looks really cool this way. And then it's got the little gap under here for your controllers to come out. Let's set this thing up. Hopefully, at least part of it works, because there's like 1,000 things that can go wrong with this. It could be, you know, the hard drive, the CD laser, the DVD laser, just anything else internally, any other moving part or non-moving part. These things are like super poorly built, which is sad because they're super cool looking. But let's plug this thing in, and hopefully something works. So technically, best practice would be plugging this into a transformer, because it's expecting 100 volts, and in the US we run off of you know, between 110 to 120. However, usually the difference between 100 and 120 isn't like enough to damage anything. For a long term, I would, if I ever do use this, I am going to use it with like the correct power, but I really don't care right now because I'm basically turning this thing on to see if it's a brick or not. So I got AV plugged into it. Weirdly, this thing does not have a normal like connector that any other PS2 would have. It only uses like the actual ones built into the back, which is kind of strange. I think it has a D-terminal port, though, which is basically just component, so you can get an adapter. But anyway, let's turn this thing on, get a green light. Let me switch this to the correct input. Okay, it is video 2. Oh, got a blue screen. This is where they usually fail. Actually, this one guy that I follow, his name is Adam Korlick. He has one of these, and it fails right on the blue screen, which I think is what mine did. However, I'll wait here and see if something happens. Oh yeah, just got, now there's like nothing going to it. It's just saying video 2. So I think that's as far as this is gonna get. Usually when something like that happens, it's a hard drive failure, which is extremely common on these. However, like I said, I got a trick up my sleeve. This is a free McBoot memory card, just basically just like a PS2 mod loader. Hopefully if I created this memory card right, put that in slot 1. Turning this thing off takes forever, I don't know why. So it should come up with a free McBoot logo. Yep, okay, so it's working so far. I'm holding R1, which should take me to... Yes, okay. So basically what I just did is I bypassed the hard drive completely, which unfortunately is broken. I can actually go on here. It's going to be really jittery and horrible to look at, unfortunately. But I can go to hard drive, see if it'll even, like, load. It's just the issue with these things is that they did not build them well at all. The hard drives are super poor quality, and after... These probably came out about 20 years ago, and they just don't work. Yeah, it's locking up trying to load the hard drive. So I'm going to leave it for a second, see if anything happens. Oh, and yeah, it's just empty. There is nothing. So, what I'm going to do is, I believe if I go to miscellaneous, there's a way to boot a disk. This is like super horrible to look at, and I don't know why. I think if I click PS2 disk, it'll boot it. Don't know if it can boot PS1 games like that, but I'm gonna try it. Because for the time being, the only Japanese PlayStation game I own is King of Fighters 95 for PS1. Unfortunately, you guys are gonna be seeing a lot of me in the reflection because it's just a black background. But let's go File Browser. Let's see if maybe just it took a while to notice it. Oh, something's happening. Come on, boot up that PS1 game. Let me... Hey, PS1 games work. That's actually more than I expected. Now, I don't know if Free McBoot can run, like, different region games. So I got King of Fighters 95 here. See, yep, it is working. Controllers work, everything like that. So, the CD laser works. That's one thing. Let me check and see if I have a Japanese game. I don't think I do, but I might have just forgot. And just like I thought, I have nothing. So... we are going to try Burnout 3, which is one of my favorite games of this generation. Like I said, I do not think this, like, region unlocks it or anything. I think it's still just going to give me the same error. However, maybe not. So this is going to take a minute. Like I said, turning this thing off is obnoxious for some reason. I have no clue why they designed it that way. I just held the power button for like 10 minutes, and now it turns off. So with this memory card, I also have something called OPL, which is Open PS2 Loader. That is if I hold, I think, the L1 button, and I'm holding R1 to get to launch ELF. So if I go on there, I can actually use it to load games off a USB stick. So it says there's a DVD in there. It's giving me a question mark. I can also, yeah, unsupported. it. So I think it's just seeing that it's not the right region. I don't think you can region unlock without a mod chip, so that's kind of unfortunate. So there is actually a way, while I'm waiting for this thing, because I accidentally pressed the wrong menu button, there is a way to restore one of these and get it like fully working like it was brand new. There's actually a guy that's making an IDE emulator, and that should restore like the hard drive functionality and everything. It'll basically emulate the hard drive. I don't own one of those. If someone would like to donate me $320, I will buy one. I just really don't want to spend that much money on like such an obscure, dumb console, especially if the DVD laser doesn't work, which might be the case. Like I said, it's given me issues right now. It detected that it was a DVD, and that it detected the game was unsupported, so we're getting somewhere. Like I said, I'll continue this video probably when I get a Japanese PS2 game. I'll probably go and order one right now, actually, and then I'll see if at least that laser works. Because if both do, then it's a usable PS2. It's just kind of annoying because you got to go through launch ELF. But I guess I'll see you guys in the next part once I get all that figured out. Alright, what is going on, guys? I'm back. I'm going to be doing this part a little bit differently just because I thought I'd try to make it a little bit better for you guys to see everything. If you guys can see, hopefully if I edit everything correctly, I have my capture card, which is not meant to do standard definition. So I have it going through like an upscaler box. It probably looks like trash, but it's better than pointing a camera at the screen. Right now, I'm in launch ELF. I got a couple PS2 games from a convention I went to, so we're gonna try out a few of those. I have like a whole bunch of them, most of them racing games, just because that's the kind of game I like. So the first one I'm gonna try out is one that, as far as I know, is Japan exclusive, so should just boot it right up. Here we go, we got Initial D Special Stage. So this is based off of the anime, if you guys haven't heard of it. It's basically just about a dude who's a tofu delivery driver that starts, you know, racing and drifting and doing all that. Super cool. If you've probably seen the car from it if you haven't heard of it, which I don't know if I'd be able, maybe I could choose it. Yeah, so here's like the iconic like AE86 from it, although I am not going to choose that. For me, I think I'm going to go with, see what they got for RX-7s. Might have to go with this one, the FC, make the name 0. That's probably for the car, not for the player, but I guess it really doesn't matter. So I'm assuming the further down here you go, the more difficult. Let's go like kind of middle of the road. Okay, those stars are probably more difficulty. So let's go, give myself a little bit of a challenge. So just the way I'm recording this, I can't hear any audio, so hopefully I'm not talking over anything. I'm assuming there's just going to be a lot of like Japanese voices, which I wouldn't be able to understand anyway. But yeah, we're just playing like any old PS2 would. So it's really cool that the DVD laser does actually read. I've heard some people saying that the lasers in these things are extremely unreliable. I might have mentioned it in the other part. A lot of that I think is just from the main software, because I'm not sure how true it is. I haven't actually like looked at the thing or done like a crazy amount of research. But from what a lot of people have said, there's like a second DVD laser that's supposed to be for like burning discs, because apparently that's something that this thing can do. And if that laser fails, it, for whatever reason, just causes it to completely stop reading DVDs totally. But if you use FreeMcBoot and launch ELF, it seems to kind of bypass that and just let you use the normal PS2 laser, which seems to be reading games perfectly fine. But I'm doing horribly. Let me try something else. Next one I'm going to try out is Shadow of the Colossus, or as it's called in Japan, Wander and the Colossus, which is kind of interesting. But I would definitely recommend, if you're thinking about getting one of these, definitely get a FreeMcBoot memory card. You can make one yourself if you have any old PS2, or if you look online you might be able to buy one, although I'm not sure if you'll be able to buy one that's like specifically formatted and everything for the PSX. But it's a super simple process. All you need is a DVD-R, which, I mean, you can pick those up for nothing nowadays. You just need a blank DVD, a blank memory card, and some sort of PS2. And if I remember, I'll put the instructions down in the description. Can't remember where exactly I figured out how to do this. I think I was modding my normal PS2, and I saw that there was a PSX option, which I thought was cool. And then I'm like, oh, well, I should get one now. And here we are. Even if your hard drive works perfectly and it'll boot DVDs from the menu and everything like that, I would still really recommend it, because this completely bypasses the hard drive. Like, it doesn't even spin up for a second, which is really good at preserving it, because they're super unreliable. And if it's not dead already, it will be very soon. But anyway, here we are in the game in all of its, 10 frames per second, just like the North American version of it. But here we are, just playing another game. This game is like super impressive, by the way, for the PS2. It's definitely struggling. I would not call this like a smooth experience, but that's kind of how it is on every PS2. That's not a fault of the PSX or anything. Maybe I'll fight the first Colossus just for fun. This game does remind me a lot of the newer Legend of Zelda games. I'm not sure if they definitely like took inspiration from it, but to me, I mean, I played the newer Zeldas first. I didn't play this game until pretty recently, but the first time I played it, it felt a lot like Breath of the Wild, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of the two newer Zeldas, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with the games themselves. I just don't feel like it's a great formula for Legend of Zelda specifically. But as a game like this, where it's kind of its own thing, I really enjoy it. Alright, so I think I'm pretty much here. Yeah, here it is. And there we go. But yeah, anyway, I think this is probably where I'm going to end this video because there's not really much more for me to show off. I have 3 other games for me to try, but I've showed that it works. They're just normal PS2 games. Hopefully you found this video kind of like informative, showing that you can kind of bring one of these things back after the hard drive dies and still use it as pretty much a fully functioning PS2 minus the home screen. But anyway, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.